Tech Yeah Podcast.
That's pretty good. Hello, William.
hello, Anthony.
I got Bill over here watching the YouTube Rewind video because I wanted to talk about it on today's show. So he's enjoying that right now.
It's one of those things that like I hear everyone talking.
We'll talk about it in a minute.
All right. Okay.
Okay, just relax.
Okay, Tony, how was your week? While you're telling me how your week was,
I'm gonna do a little. Watch the video.
I am watching.
I'm
gonna
do some of the homework.
Okay. Yeah.
So if you guys are listening right now and you want to reach out to us, you can reach out to us via email, techyapodcast@gmail.com. You can find us on Twitter, techyapodcast. That was all the homework, so I'm pretty much out of stuff to say. So let me.
We will read any and all emails.
Yeah,
we get.
we'll read any email you send. So send one over. Someone said they sent me an email, and I don't see it here.
Did you check the spam filter?
Yeah, I'm looking right now. Someone told me, I sent you guys a correction.
Yeah, I think we got some. There was a correction and retraction needed from the last episode.
You had a correction?
No, I'm aware of something that we got incorrect.
So Mike,
about
Mike,
Who.
he told me was it about Doctor Who?
Yeah.
The Daleks?
Yeah, we
I said it wrong.
Yeah, we said it wrong.
What a loser! That
Get
guy.
a life, Mike.
Yeah, get a life.
But thank you. I mean, that's an example of if you send it, we will read it.
Yeah, even if you don't send it, if you say you're going to send it, we might just talk about it.
Yeah,
we're that with it.
Yep.
Since you're still watching that video, I'll tell you guys about my week. It's been pretty good. I got new glasses today, so I'm trying to adjust to these new glasses. Which you like them?
They're sexy.
Thanks. Very stylish, right? Very modern. I went away from the hipster plastic giant brown frames and went with something a little more lightweight and sophisticated, a little sleek.
Very sleek.
But it's a new prescription, so it's everything is super clear, almost too clear, and it's kind of wigging me out. Other than that, it's been a pretty good week. IBS update. I've been feeling pretty good this week.
That's good.
I got a lot of comments.
Your indigestion.
I get a lot of comments about opening the podcast with my IBS talk last week. But I think it's important that we stay relatable and show people that we're real.
We're regular people like all of you.
Yeah, we're just regular guys. We may live this comic book lifestyle. This like it's a sitcom or something. Are these guys even real? Are they even in touch with reality?
We have a very glossy exterior.
Yeah, but the reality is we very much are in touch with reality. Hence my IBS.
Yeah.
What else went down this week? That's kind of it. Been chatting up some girls on Hinge. Ready to go. I think I'm gonna go on a Hinge date this weekend.
Right on.
Yeah.
Okay.
I went on one. Was it last weekend or the weekend before?
What's the gimmick on that one?
On Hinge?
Yeah.
It's supposed to be like second and third party friends of friends.
Second and third party friends. Is
based on
through
Facebook.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And they know everything.
Yeah.
We don't need to get back into Facebook after last week's.
Yeah. Here's who you will marry.
Yeah.
Thanks, Zuckerberg.
So, I've been doing some streaming this week, playing a lot of Super Smash Brothers. You
still liking it? I mean, is it?
I love it.
Yeah, cool.
I love it. It's Smash. I love it.
It's a cute game.
Yeah. There's also this new Supercell phone game I've been playing a lot. It's called Brawl Stars. Real fun. I don't know if you ever played Crash Royale or any of those cell phone games.
No, I stayed away from the cell phone game.
Oh, well. Yeah, it's one of those.
I have too much of an addictive personality.
Yeah, I already put $5 into it.
Yeah.
But, so yeah, that's pretty much it. Nothing too exciting. Just some normal stuff, some new games, some IBS, and some new glasses, most of it.
Beautiful.
Yeah, that's pretty much what's going on. What about you, William?
Went on my first cross-country flight on Sunday. Went from John Wayne to Camarillo and then back.
Camarillo.
Like out in Ventura.
That's a cross-country flight?
Anything above 50 miles in a straight line is considered cross-country in aviation.
What?
Yeah, so I need a certain amount of cross-country hours. So you got to go further to an airport that's further than 50 miles in a straight line. So even if you like zigzag there and it like actually took you longer than 50 miles, it
you only get
doesn't
50,
count.
yeah.
Yeah, if it's 49 miles away, it doesn't count. So
I
that
still
was
don't get why that's cross country, but
it's just the terminology of it. It's just a way of it's a minimum threshold to show that like anything 50 miles or more takes a certain level of effort to fly. Like if I went somewhere 20 miles away in a car, that's like oh, this is going to be a thing. And it's going to take 40 minutes. But in an airplane, when you're doing 130 miles an hour over the ground, that's a short flight.
yeah, you can almost do 20 miles and stay in like protected space.
Yeah, you're not. It's just to get you outside of, a particular region or zone. Because nothing is really more than 50 miles. You're outside of the LAX Mode C veil, which is just like
that sounds pretty awesome.
Sounds pretty sweet. But it was cool. It was the highest I've ever flown.
How high were you?
Pretty high. I was 4,500 going up and then 5,500 coming back.
How many milligrams is that?
It's it's a couple baggies worth.
a couple fingers, as my dad would say.
Yeah, a few fingers. It was freaking awesome. It was super cool to see just everything.
So you flew from John Wayne, so from Orange County,
yeah,
to Camarillo, so the Valley.
Yeah, even past the Valley, past Simi Valley. Yeah.
So you basically flew over LA proper.
Yeah, the route we took was right over the Queen Mary.
Mm-hmm.
That was actually one of the GPS coordinates.
So you followed the coast. Or you went over the ocean?
Followed the coast until we got to Santa Monica. Mm-hmm. And then you know where the Pacific Palisades are?
Yeah.
So if you draw a line from Pacific Palisades, like Santa Monica Airport, Pacific Palisades, directly over the mountains that were just on fire to Camarillo is how we went. So we crossed the mountains over whatever that canyon road is by Malibu-ish. I can't remember which one. And then followed the 101 Westlake Village.
That's cool. That's pretty.
Yeah.
Pretty flight.
Very pretty flight. Mountains, snow-covered mountains in the background.
Yeah, you got the coast on your left and downtown LA on your right.
Yep.
That's nice.
Yeah, it was cool. Could see the Hollywood sign. Could see all the way down into San Bernardino. It's insane.
That sounds pretty awesome.
Yeah. That was cool.
Right. So there's your plane update for all the aviation lovers out there.
Yeah.
I know we got a lot of them, so I'm glad they could
exactly.
get a plane update. So what did you – I just had you watch – the hottest video on YouTube right now, the 2018 YouTube Rewind. I know you probably got a little distracted there at the end because we started talking. But what'd you think?
It's a freaking garbage.
Yeah, it's at like 2 million up, like 10 million down votes.
11 million down and 2.1 thumbs up.
Wow, that was pretty close, actually.
Yeah. This is really dumb.
Yeah, and it's weird, like, not to have, like, PewDiePie in it, right? Or, like, as much as I hate, like, the Logan Paul team, like, those types of people.
Too controversial, though.
The H3. I feel like there's a lot of content creator, Boogie, Donkey, you know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of, I feel like the content creators that we actually know on YouTube, what YouTube really isn't what that video is, right? That video is so disconnected. That video is trying to paint YouTube as this like progressive place for young millennials to share their values and
it's nauseating
and celebrate their inclusiveness. And maybe that's part of YouTube, and I don't think that's a bad thing. It's just it's not the reality.
I don't know what the point of this was.
Yeah, I don't either.
Like, there's 125 million views. They're going to have it like the first thing you see when you log in.
Actually, it's been kind of hidden after it got so negatively swamped.
Yeah, they control that.
Yeah,
100%. I saw it more for the story of the downvoting stuff. I sometimes, if something is really mainstreamy popular, and I've like read even just like a headline on it, I usually just stay away from it because I don't care that much.
You get the gist.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't really need to see, like, okay, there's a video that everyone's thumbs downing. Thumbs downing? It's getting a bunch of downvotes. That's all I really, that was as far as I went with it. Like, I don't really care after that. But since you mentioned it, I did watch it, and it's just I don't know what the point of it is. It's just a stupid like self-promote-y PR thing for.
They do it every year. So in the past, it's actually been somewhat like tongue-in-cheek and kind of hit. Like there's been definitely YouTube Rewind started out as kind of a very positive thing, right? Because it was creators like PewDiePie and what was that lady's name that did like she had like these singing, this old lady did like these singing aerobics and like, you know, it was very much like the silly content creators of YouTube on the video kind of doing like a collage. It was almost like one of those, what is it, like the Grammys, like musical collage numbers, you know what I mean? Where everyone kind of does a quick a quick stanza and pops in and out and you kind of get a glimpse of them all and that's the end.
Yeah.
Which was, I don't think it's great, but it was good. You know what I mean? It kind of made sense, and it was the voice kind of made sense to what YouTube was, and the people in it were kind of the people we expected to see. And then this one just like it opens with Will Smith being like, what my rewind would be, and it's like, who? Okay, is Will Smith even like relevant?
I don't know
to the world
right
now. Like
he's actually done a few videos. Like he's got some weird burgeoning YouTube social media presence that I have only caught glimpses of recently.
Mm-hmm.
He'll like tell a few stories. Like I saw a video of him when the time he met Michael Jackson.
Oh really?
Did you haven't see that?
No.
It's a freaking hilarious story.
Really? I know Jada Pinkett Smith is all over Instagram talking about like she hasn't said that Will Smith cheated on her, but she's definitely talking about being cheated on and what a man's worth. And
Lord,
yeah, it's very funny. But I think in some ways, Jaden Smith's probably more famous than Will Smith right now.
Probably,
you know, like as far as actually viewership relevance, you know.
Yeah.
Marquise is cool. Like I like the, what is his channel called? The MKHB. I like his channel. I watch his phone reviews. I like him when he's on other stuff. So it's not like that's the issue with that. It's just that like he's probably the only like standout on the show where I was like, oh, that's cool. He's on here.
Yeah.
Ninja's not really a YouTuber. He's a Twitch star that like puts his content on YouTube after he makes it. You know what I mean? Like that's such a
just a very weird thing that exists. And they've got the right. It has the right to exist.
Yeah.
But
oh yeah. Having John Oliver do the Fortnite dance and Trevor Noah, like
I don't get it.
The whole thing just feels so.
What I like is the people are awesome, like end of year GoPro style, where it's just like a collage of highlights from the year and just like crazy stuff happening. Those I actually do watch and enjoy, and you know, there's like entertainment value. This was just like I didn't even know like what is this?
And I didn't even know who a lot of these people are. And granted, I'm not like the biggest YouTube watcher.
It seemed to be a very specific type of demographic that they were going for.
And that's what I mean. A lot of these people like Liza, the girl who's like, we're in charge now thing, right?
Yeah, okay.
Or we're in charge of Rewind this year, girl, right? Like she just got into this whole thing with like PewDiePie because she was complaining that women on YouTube don't make enough money, right? Like, which is dumb. PewDiePie basically, she got into it with PewDiePie because he basically said like the logarithm and the AdSense is gender blind. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, that's the stupidest comment you could ever make.
It's pay per view. It's not pay. It does
make better shit.
Yeah, and that was kind of his premise.
Yeah,
and she had a real
heard Bill Burr go on a rant on that one time. It was so like he just demolished this chick. It was so good.
Yeah, Bill Burr. Like I don't know. I feel like sometimes now he's a little too like he catches himself and then reminds the world that he has a black wife. And then gets like real social justice-y for 5 minutes. You know what I mean? Like it's so weird, but you know, because you know, I don't think anyone with intelligence thinks he's racist. You know what I mean?
Oh no,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
he's in the like I don't really care. Like I just like why are you getting so worked up? Like
he's a lunatic.
Yeah,
but Yeah, so I thought it was really funny how that video is just getting so crushed, and it kind of plays into kind of what this is kind of a bigger story, and I didn't bring in that video to tell this bigger story, but someone posted on my Facebook feed today, or one of those political posts. I try to hide them as fast as I can, but someone posted this thing about have you seen these yellow vest protests?
Yeah, in France.
In France.
Yeah, 30 days of protest. Macron implemented a fuel tax.
He tried to push a fuel tax. He backed off on it. Well, he's not. He already had to back down from the
Well, I
fuel
think
tax.
they implemented it.
Yeah, he already had to back down.
But right, yeah.
And offer additional tax cuts.
Yep.
And they're still not happy. And it's like, it's kind of funny. It's like, to me, the backlash is, it's different, but it's kind of a similar mentality to kind of what we see with this Rewind video, right? Where it's like this, I don't even want to call it like social justice, right? Because I think social justice is a good thing in some ways, right?
At the face of it, yeah, by its definition, but not necessarily how it's implemented.
Yeah,
all the
but
time.
these implementations, right? These poor tone deaf implementations that come out draw so much ire. You know what I mean? On a global level with Macron and this fuel tax, and even on YouTube with the stupid, with the stupid video. It's just like, you gotta play to the reality, right? Like YouTube knows what people want to watch on YouTube. They have the data. They're aware of what's popular, right? Like if Baby Shark was on there, people would have been like cheering and dancing around their offices, right? But instead it's John Oliver, and like no one watches that on television. No one's going to watch it on, like
I know. Yeah, it was very blatant what they were trying to do, and it got the reaction that you would absolutely think you would get.
Expect.
But just like the France protests, is you have people that are protesting, the fuel tax and, ignoring the middle class, and it's already expensive and all that. There's it starts out like that, and then as it grows, you start to just attract people that are just internet people that want to break stuff, essentially. I mean, the thumbs down is just a tiny sliver of the mentality of the guy that just shows up and wants to throw a brick through a window. He doesn't care. He's like, what are we protesting? Like, there's a gas tax. Like, oh yeah, gas tax, and then throws a brick through the guy, shopkeeper's window.
It's just this era of dissonance. You know what I mean? Where it's just
why are we downvoting this video? Because it sucks.
Yeah. All right,
cool.
Yeah, it sucks.
Yeah, downvote. Hey,
but I like Ninja.
Yeah,
we're not saying Ninja sucks. All right, I'm in. I'm cool. All right, I'm in.
But the Korean part was weird.
Yeah.
What Korean part? I only watched the first 30 seconds. Downvote it anyway.
Yeah. I heard Casey Neistat doesn't even like K-pop. It's and I guess that's kind of the bigger conversation, right? It's just like dissonance and just how collectively like over it people are. You know what I mean?
Well, it's the same thing. Like I saw the comparison between that video and the downvotes on Justin Bieber on Baby.
Oh yeah.
It's not 9 million people that are like watching that music video all the way through and going, this was an unsatisfactory music video.
Yeah, the Biebs rock.
It gets to a point where it's just like, dude, pile on. Like, what are we doing? Are we all thumbs down on this? Oh, cool. I'm going to be one of it too. I thumbs down the Rewind video. I was like one of the first ones to thumb down it.
Yeah, but Justin Bieber's good and the Rewind video's not. I like Justin Bieber.
Justin Bieber's.
Say you. How are you racist against Canadians? Is that
yes? Yeah.
All right, that's all I had to say though. Don't watch the Rewind video. I guess is my hot take out there. It's bad. It's bad for you.
Why would you say don't? Do watch it. I mean, they've probably already watched it if they hadn't by now. I think it's a totally fine thing to watch. It's a stupid video.
All right,
you won't make it through the whole thing. But everyone, I mean, it's a topic right now, so you might as well just see what we're talking about.
All right, techie asketeers out there.
Ooh, I like that.
You like that?
Yeah.
All right. I want you to watch the Rewind video, or if you've already seen it, give me an email and let me know what you thought of it. All right, and who is the coolest person or idea that appears in said video. And also email me to tell me how stupid I am to compare it to the yellow vest French protests.
It was kind of a stretch, but you're fine.
It was a stretch, but
there's some parallels to it.
I think the parallel is this just this kind of like this dissonant mentality, right? I think that's the only parallel, right? Obviously, the stakes are much different, and people are dying and being arrested in France, and it's spreading all through Europe right now. But yeah, that's kind of my take. So yeah, feel free, email me, tell me how stupid I am, techyapodcast@gmail.com. And we got another story from this one's from William Forelli sitting across from me.
Yeah, I got a couple of little stories here that I thought was pretty interesting. There's been a bunch of space stuff in the news recently.
Did you say space stuff?
Space stuff.
I love space.
So do I.
All right, let's go to space.
The first story that happened last week, as you're hearing this, Virgin Galactic plane skims space in historic human test flight. So Richard Branson, who owns all the Virgin properties, has this, and I don't know if you've seen this. It's like a little space shuttle kind of thing. Earlier. It's a goofy looking. I mean, it doesn't really look like an airplane. It just looks like a awkward space shuttle, but it's pretty cool.
It looks like a test jet.
Yeah, it's just like an experimental, goofy looking thing. So let's see, where are the numbers here?
Why is Richard Branson the worst Elon Musk?
I don't know. He is very weird.
He's like, I'm gonna go to space, and Elon Musk is like, okay,
yeah, fine, I'm gonna go to Mars.
Yeah, like I'm already like in space all the time.
Like, we're making a big deal that he like skimmed technical space, not even like.
Go buy a weather balloon.
Yeah,
stupid.
Like, but okay, so Spaceship 2. Spaceship 2 is the name of the thing, which is kind of stupid.
It's the second best spaceship.
VSS Unity. Oh, named the VSS Unity. All right. So the winged spaceship reached 51.4 miles above the surface and achieved a speed of Mach 2.9. So 2.9 times the speed of sound, which is, I don't know. I mean, it's like it's scalable based on your altitude. So the speed of sound lowers the higher you get. So whatever.
So that's not ground speed,
right? Yeah,
it's not ground.
It's not this. It's not 3 times the speed of sound as it would be on the ground
or at sea level.
Yeah, at sea level. So NASA says that space starts at roughly 62 miles. So it's just below technical space as defined by.
Wait, so it didn't even get to space?
No, it got close, but it was the first manned trip in this concept. So they're planning on selling like space tourism.
Yeah.
So you buy a ticket for $100,000. You go up on this spaceship, which is actually taken up by another airplane. There's this huge airplane that this little spaceship rocket thing hides underneath. It takes it up to whatever altitude and then launches the spacecraft. So it cuts down the cost of having to go, a liquid fuel rocket to bring you into orbit.
No, it's almost like a 2-stage, like a rocket would, where you're peeling off and then.
Yeah.
But it's using a slow.
Right. Yeah, and it's like you have to in order to get out of the gravitational pull of Earth, you have to hit escape velocity, and it's just like a massive number. So it's not really going to be able to like leave the gravitational pull of Earth. You're just kind of going super high.
It's just getting really dark.
It's really dark, and the gravitational pull will still probably be about the same.
And Earth looks cool.
Earth looks really cool. All the flat earthers will just be like, oh, that's just because it's been.
You can listen to Major Tom up there. I mean, you'd have to, right?
You'd have a curated playlist for that trip for sure.
Yeah, Major Tom would be the first song. Though.
Yeah, Rocket Man. You'd have to listen to that.
Rocket Man. I love Elton John.
Me too.
Love him.
So that's a good story. That's a good space story. We're getting closer. We've got that Mars rover that's about to go drilling next week, I think, is what they said.
Oh, can I tell my space story before you get into your serious one?
Yeah.
All right. This isn't actually a space story, but it sort of is. So on Russia 24, Russian government-owned TV station, they had a robot called Robot Boris. Right? It's a very advanced AI robot. It knows mathematics well. It wants to learn to draw. It told the crowd. The robot also danced alongside some hired dancers, and it was very fluid, and it was very nice. But what came out after, we found out that it wasn't actually a robot. It was a person in a robot suit. And they were trying to play it off as a high-tech robot. You can buy this robot suit for $3,800 if you want it. 250,000 rubles. It's a lot of rubles, but you can get it. I just thought it was so funny, and I just wanted to bring it up.
So ridiculous.
I feel like it's such a funny like story for the time, right? Of just like, everyone's so fired up about Russia right now. They got this dumb fucking robot.
Well, and it's believable too. It's not like this was 30 years ago, and they're like, "What technology is this?" Like, you look at the videos and you'd be like, "Yeah,
it's a cool robot."
You'd be like, "This, it's a robot, but it's a good one."
Yeah, and it's like, no, it's some dude. It's just some dude in a party robot.
That is awesome.
Yeah, I kind of love it.
It's really good.
Yeah, see, and we thought they couldn't engineer elections, but look what they can do with robotics. It's they definitely got it figured out.
So great.
Yeah. All right, this is a more serious story.
So this is a story that I thought was it's the end, towards the end of the year, so it's kind of a fitting thing that CNET does. I'm assuming every year. I've seen it before, but I don't know if it's an actual at this time every year they post this. It's all of the tech that died that year.
RIP tech.
So dead tech that died in 2018.
The T word.
Now there is a lot of stuff in here that is really, really dumb. And just like, if I even told you about it, you'd be like, I've never even heard of that.
Tell me about it. I've heard of it.
Telltale Games Zombies out.
Yeah, Telltale Games. They made The Walking Dead.
Yeah, so they're dead. Google Inbox and Google Plus, they're dead.
Yeah.
Yahoo Messenger, dead.
Yeah.
Dead, but resurrected. Mad Cats.
Mad Cats always dies and gets resurrected. That's a company that is like,
yeah.
I feel like they've been bankrupt like 12 times and repurchased, and they used to be in San Diego. They used to be one of my clients was Mad Cats at my old company.
Blockbuster's almost dead.
There's one more, bro.
Shure Phono cartridges discontinued. So like Shure, SHURE.
Yeah.
Vinyl record needles.
I have a record player at home. I'm kind of worried.
So
I got audio.
too.
I got Audio Technica cartridges.
Yeah, that's what I go with as well. Okay, but there are some ones in here that are actually kind of interesting. That
Are there any that are outrageous?
Well, there's Osimo. Honda's robot is dead. Poor little Osimo.
Wait, how did Osimo die?
I think they were trying to make
Did they murder him?
They were trying to make it. Osimo's been around for a while.
I get if he's no longer being developed, but did they kill the existing one? You know what I mean? Did they have one at this lab and they're just like, Osimo,
just take it up back and
this program's over. You can either take all these oxys and go to sleep, or we're gonna take you out back.
I think they were actually trying to market it as like a assistant or something like that. I don't know. I mean, it was whatever. So okay, some of the ones that are that pertain to us a little bit that I wanted to we can spend as little or as long as we want on each of these. So the Karma GoPro drone. Have you had any drone experience?
Oh, I'm a drone man.
Are you a drone guy?
Yeah, so I have kind of like a fake DJI. What do they call them? The Phantom 3, is that what it's called?
Yeah, the bigger one.
The big one, yeah. So I have like a Chinese knockoff version of it, which is fine. But my favorite drones, I make these little, they call them tiny whoops, and they're tiny drones like this size. I'm doing it with my hands. It's probably like a 5x5 inch square.
It's about like that.
I said 5x5 inch square. Bill, quit busting my balls, okay? It's like a 5x5 inch square, and you put a tiny camera on it and a wireless transmitter, and you fly them first person.
That's cool.
So you can fly them around your house in first person.
Very cool.
So I'll put the goggles on and sit on my bed and take off my bed and just zoom around the house and do little race courses through the house. It's really fun, actually. So yeah, I have some familiarity with the drone world.
It's kind of like the VR stuff where it's really, really cool. If you get your hands on one, they're a bunch of fun, and you take some aerial shots of your house or your neighborhood and whatever. But it's so expensive to get a good one. But the fact that this was a GoPro, the maker of the action cameras. Which I do have one. I have a GoPro that I use in the airplane, and I love it. They're kind of like Apple, where they have this ecosystem and all these accessories specifically for their cameras.
And they hate America.
They hate America.
Very Apple-like.
They hate your privacy. They're constantly
anti-
taking videos of the stuff that you're doing. So they kind of have, and like the prices kept creeping up, and then they started losing market share. Other companies were like, dude, this like costs us $10 to make. Like Sony makes an action camera, and all these other companies are.
Yeah, even like the Chinese phone companies now make, like the Xiaomi makes a Yi that's like a GoPro that's.
Yeah, it's like 4K and
it's like $40 or $60.
Yeah, get 8 of them for the price of one GoPro, and you can, whatever. So anyway, it was interesting that GoPro was kind of reacting to what DJI was doing and cornering that drone space and basically using technology that GoPro relies on, which is, the content creator action kind of space. So they built this drone that connects to your camera that you already own. So you buy the drone without the camera, you use your GoPro camera as kind of a bundle, and it just didn't. They didn't market it well at all.
What happens when you put them together? Do they kiss?
You slide one into the other.
Oh, shit.
It actually is kind of sexual. It's a gimbal.
Ooh.
It comes in a gimbal, and you just jam it into the drone. It was weird. It was an interesting solution, but
that's nice.
It's pretty hot. Interesting solution, but it was just like they're losing market share too fast.
Yeah, it's funny. I think even in the drone world, GoPros are so prevalent, right? Like most
like the big industrial ones.
Most drone photography, it's a gimbal hooked up to a GoPro. You know, so I can see why they'd want to like take over that space, right? Because they're already like half in the bag for it. It's already kind of half their tech doing what they might consider the heavy lifting of it. But yeah, it's too competitive. Especially now, it's so competitive.
It's very competitive, and they are, I think, two different spaces that I think would be good for two different companies to team up.
Yeah, I think
like
so too.
You have GoPro or whoever work on the camera and the sensor and the image stabilization and the color balance and all that crap, and then you have DJI work on the blades and the road, the internals, the battery, all that stuff, and you got a kick-ass solution at the end of it.
Yeah, I think the thing about drones is like when you initially see them, they seem mystical and like impossible to understand. Then you get like a cursory knowledge of them. And you're like, oh, I could build a drone. And then you build a drone and realize you don't know anything. And you have no idea what you just did. And it's so much more complex than you could ever have imagined, right?
Yeah.
And so, just with like the overlapping systems, right? Because you have to have, a gyro and a GPS. And these things need to sync up to know your position globally, but your position physically to the ground and your altitude versus your global position. All these things need to work together to kind of, the better you can map your position in space, the better that drone can fly, right?
Look at Tony flirting with aviation talk.
This is not aviation talk.
This is pretty damn close. You said the word altitude unprovoked.
It's altitude. I said sea level earlier too, okay?
The FAA actually does have drone licensing as well.
I've heard, actually. I kind of got out before that became a thing because I know like everyone's supposed to get them now if you have a drone.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just so complex and such. It requires, I think, a level of experience, which is why I think DJI has done well because they can make a very mature product because they've been making drones for so long because they got in before 9 million Chinese companies were making drones. But trying to jump in and be like, no, we're GoPro, we can make one, and it's like, I don't know, man. Like,
yeah, and right, and not knowing how they did that on the back end, like who they either had to like poach engineers and designers and developers, or they had to outsource that or something. There was something that was either really expensive or out of their control.
And no one's gonna trust you.
Yeah. You're a trusted name in one thing. That's where it's like, hey, we've teamed up with, if you're GoPro and you're trying to compete against DJI, team up with a burgeoning hardware manufacturer and give them, like integrate with your camera and whatever.
So I think another thing you realize when you get a drone is that they're terrifyingly dangerous.
They can be, yeah. They're unwieldy.
You say they can be. The moment, even if you get a DJI Phantom, it's like, it's supposed to be dummy flying. You use your phone to guide it with GPS. You set that thing on the ground and you start spinning those blades up, and you're just like, oh, this thing could murder somebody.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
If you stand underneath one, the downdraft is crazy.
Yeah, and so you're just like, I think DJI's done a good job minimizing issues. All you need is a couple YouTube videos of those things falling and, falling on a kid's soccer game.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? To like ruin your company. I think
Yeah.
DJI's done a good job nurturing their image to be like, no, like these are foolproof, they're safe. That it's hard for people that are going to spend that kind of money to get in like a AAA label drone to like go with a different brand, right? Because I am like my drone. I bought like a Chinese knockoff Phantom, and like the GPS, I lose GPS lock sometimes, and that thing literally just starts clipping off across the park, right? Like, and I just got to kill it and let it fall, and it's like, if there were like children around or something,
Yeah.
like I mean, I'm very safe. I make sure it's in a safe place where I can just dump it.
Right.
But like that could very easily turn into like injuring people, tons of liability,
property
damage, and so it's like, yeah, it's such a difficult realm to just like, nah, we want to get in on this. Like it's just people have to put a lot of faith in your product to do that. It's scary.
Yeah, it is scary, and there's not really much unless you have a business case or a specific like ongoing piece of content that you're creating all the time where that footage is going to be useful. It's just like people that get GoPros and like you strap it on your kid's helmet and hey, look at the kid. You do that a couple times and then it kind of wears thin because like what are you going to do with that if you're just consumer guy?
Yeah, my action cam is now my driving cam.
Oh, you have that on, like just reset it every time you get in the car.
It's got like a auto. You can set the software and have like at least the one I have for a car cam thing. But I actually think I'm gonna get a new one because they now have ones with Wi-Fi in them.
Cool.
Where you can just pull down the
Stream
latest video.
Yeah.
So it's like, if there's an accident, you can just hit something on your phone and it'll just grab the latest video.
Yeah. Well, there's some that are always on and it will only trigger once there's a collision.
Yeah. They have those in them now too.
Yeah, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, so like for $50, I can get a better one. So I'm like, I'm just gonna buy a new one.
Yeah. That's a cool idea.
What else died this year?
Curie, a cute robot with no future. I don't know if you saw any of those. Like, it's like a wannabe smart speaker that they just put a face on.
Oh, the face on it? Yeah.
And it's like, again, that's another perfect example of a company that like sees a market for something and tries to like meld two different industries together, where you've got this robotic thing and then you've got this software virtual assistant portion that they're trying to stick together. And unless you're, Google, Amazon, Apple, and you've got the software side dialed in and you just want to partner with a robotics company that can give it a cute face and have it like dance and wave to you, it's going to be tough to do that from scratch.
Well, I think what's so dumb is we've seen these like the entry point into these markets is very low cost, right? Like these dumb robots aren't making it, right? What people, the robotics or the advanced tech that people bring into their homes isn't robots. It's $30 Google Plays or Google. What do they call it?
Google Home.
Google Home.
Yeah, it's
or
the
Amazon
software.
Echoes. Right. Yeah, it's mature software in a low cost, easy to manufacture, low liability product. Right. So I can understand the burgeoning young inventor that's like, no, we're gonna make this robot, and I can understand almost the VC that's gonna throw a couple million at it, but the reality is you're gonna extend yourself way too far to create a product that's not going to serve anyone better than a $30 Echo Dot.
Right. You're not solving a problem that anyone has, or filling a gap that anyone needs. They have the Echo, they've got the Google Home. Why do they need it to wave at you?
Yeah, I mean, here's my tip, all right, young inventors and venture capitalists, okay? As a not wealthy person, I'll tell you, make something that's cheap to manufacture, right?
Yeah.
Like, it just seems like from fidget spinners to like whatever.
True.
It seems like things that cost you pennies to make that sell for $7 are far more profitable than things that cost you $400 to make that sell for $429.
That people that people like can't live with. Not, I mean, this is extreme, but can't live without. Like a fidget spinner costs $5, costs 2 cents to make, and people like can't not use it if they have it.
Yeah.
Like if you buy a drone for $1,200, you'd have to sit down and think, how am I going to use my drone this weekend?
Yeah, you got to go on vacation to use that thing.
Yeah,
like, you can't use it in the city.
It's not going to work. Like, you're not gonna make any money. So this one, the next dead product, next dead piece of tech, it's kind of a sad one.
Is it Newegg?
In theory. Shh. PlayStation Vita.
Oh, that is sad.
Portable gaming has changed a lot since the Vita debuted in 2011, so it's no surprise that Sony finally declared it would cease production in Japan in 2019.
I have my Vita.
I was going to ask if you have one.
Yeah, I have one. It's sad.
It really, 2011.
I mean, 7 years is a long time for gaming hardware.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, that's a long. I'm shocked that it was that long ago.
But it lost support really early. It really became a home for Japanese games, like role playing games.
Mm-hmm.
But really, like,
well, it sold pretty well in Japan, didn't it?
Yeah, it did. They were popular in Japan. And the hacking scene is very alive and vibrant with those things. I mean, I'll tell you this right now. Mine, you can play anything you want on it. Like,
what do you mean?
Anything.
How? Like cartridge wise, or?
So the problem with those things is one of their biggest downfalls is they use proprietary Sony memory, right? Sony's always had these memory stick duo memories that they've used, and they're very expensive. So it was kind of a limiting factor. But now they sell these things. You can buy them on Amazon, and they go into the game card slot, and then you can put a micro SD into that. So it's like a carriage.
Okay.
Yeah, and then you put the micro SD into it, and you can just install games onto it.
Got it.
And you can actually download and install the games from the Vita onto the Vita. So you can like open a store, pick a game, download it, and then play it.
Interesting.
Yeah. Homebrew's gone pretty far. And the Switch is kind of taking its luster as far as portable gaming.
Yeah, it was a cool idea, and I think what they were trying to sell it as, at least kind of mid-life cycle, was that PlayStation 3 companion a little bit, where you could use it as a controller, you could use it as a second screen, you could continue to play on it in a different room. Basically what Switch ended up doing.
If it had R2 and L2 buttons, I think it would have had a much more successful and longer life. I think that was probably the biggest problem with that system, is it didn't have the rear trigger buttons. And it kind of killed, because remote playing from it was kind of neat and a good idea, and it worked for games where, like if you were playing Destiny, like you wouldn't do it to play PvP or run a raid, but if you wanted to, rearrange your items or check stuff from the store or log in and look at or talk to your guild or whatever, right? It was a nice little device to do that from, but you couldn't really control your guy very well, right? Because you had very limited control with the scheme it provided.
I never liked the sticks.
Yeah,
too.
those little flat sticks.
Yeah.
Those little slideys.
Yeah.
Yeah, it left a lot to be desired as far as the control scheme. And I feel like that was kind of the death knell. It stopped a lot of good games from coming to it.
Yeah. Yeah. It was a good idea. It was relatively powerful for the time, but I mean, with cell phones, 2011, there wasn't much mobile gaming on your phone, and it just there was no place for that.
Rest in peace, Vita. Rest in peace.
Sorry, Vita.
Who else died? Please say Amazon.
Netflix viewer reviews.
Oh yeah, I forgot. That's when they went to the
thumbs up, thumbs
down.
up,
thumbs down.
So what do you think about that? Are you a reviewer?
Do I review?
Yeah, like if you're watching a video, if you're watching a YouTube video, are you thumbs up, thumbs down in it? Are you reviewing stuff on, e-commerce sites? Are you?
I do. It's weird. Sometimes I try and fancy myself a reviewer, and I do some. I probably left a dozen Amazon reviews, but I'm not like a hardcore reviewer.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes I feel like my review is useful, and that's when I leave it. You know what I mean?
If you got like a certain use case that you're kind of wanting to share.
Or if I'm mad at a restaurant.
Are you a Yelper?
Yeah, if I'm mad at a restaurant, I'll Yelp.
Well, that's the thing about Yelp reviews. It's like it's either people that have the best experience of their life or the worst experience of their life.
Yeah, I try not to be like 1-star guy.
Yeah.
Like, I always talk about going to restaurants on here. One of my friends took me to a restaurant in LA for my birthday called Republique. I don't know if you've ever heard of it. Mm-hmm. It's a pretty popular kind of spot. It's very hip. It's nice. It's a nice restaurant. The food was really good, right? The problem was they forgot to bring our food out for like 45 minutes.
Oh, God.
And, like they checked on us and we're just like, yeah, no food. And they're just like, okay. And they just sort of like forgot they checked. You know what I mean?
Yikes.
So that sucks. And then the manager comes over and is like, hey, sorry, we're cooking it right now and blah, blah, blah. And like, their make good was like, oh, do you want refills on your coffees? Because they're like $5 coffees or whatever. And I'm just like, no, like I want you to just give me this food. You know what I mean? Like we've been here for an hour.
Wow.
Like you need to make this right. Like
was it cold or they just forgot it?
No, it was they made fresh food for us. They just forgot to turn it in.
Wow.
Yeah. And like my response was, no, you need to like make this right, and they didn't. And I left 3 stars because the food was good, right? And I think the message I left was just like great food. The atmosphere was nice, but they just forgot our food and didn't make it right.
It's an honest review.
Yeah, I think I gave him 2.5 stars actually.
Yeah,
the girl I was with was so mad. She was so mad.
I would be pissed too. I would be so.
No, she was mad at me for leaving the review while we're sitting at the table.
Oh God,
it's funny because I was just like, fine, I'm gonna Yelp this, and I just started doing my review at the table.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, because I just hated it. But yeah, Netflix, I never really left reviews, but I would star rate things all the time because it helped curate your list on Netflix.
Mm-hmm. That's a good point.
I was sad to see it go. Yeah. I'll be honest with you.
That's kind of my thought on it too with, specifically videos or like Instagram stuff. It's like, I don't really care about, like upvoting this video for any reason, but I want the algorithm to know that I like that. Give me more of that.
Yeah, it's just content I'm into.
Yeah. I want some more of that.
And YouTube, if it's, and in general, if it's a small YouTuber or a small seller on Amazon or something, I'd try and be more open to leaving a review, especially if it's a positive experience, because I understand, and I'm sure you do too, as a small content creator, that a couple good reviews means a lot when no one, when you've got 34 views,
right?
If you get one positive comment after that,
it's like great video.
Like, oh fuck yeah, man!
Cool.
Like we're nailing it. You know what I mean? Like it feels so good. So
yeah, and it just be something stupid. I posted a video this morning, YouTube video, and just someone just said nice video.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, cool, sweet.
It feels good.
It's like 5 thumbs up, and I'm just like, all right, cool.
Yeah, it feels good, especially when you're at low view counts. Because it's like, oh, like 10% of the people that watch this video are into it.
At 35 views, and I got 1 comment.
Yeah,
sweet,
nailing it.
Okay, so this last one that I wanted to touch on, that I don't know this, but I have a feeling
that I'll know it,
that you'll have had used this service
Uh-oh.
in the past.
Is it sexy?
No.
Okay.
GeoCities is dead.
Oh yeah, I've used GeoCities before.
Yeah.
So like, oh man, it takes me back. It takes me back to like high school.
Same here. So it says for most of us, 2009 was the end of GeoCities for the most of us. But in Japan, it hung around for another 10 years. So that brings us to here. So Yahoo controls GeoCities, and it is now finally dying in globally.
I wonder if you can still access it right now. I probably have images from like high school.
Probably.
On
I
GeoCities.
have tried to find my old GeoCities websites.
It's funny. I just recently did like a Yahoo recovery because I was like looking for old pictures and stuff, but I only found a couple.
The problem at the time, and this was, when the hell was this? 2002? 2002-ish, 2003-ish?
I'm saying like, for me it was like
2001?
98, 99.
Really?
Yeah.
So I remember it in like that early 2000s-ish, and it may even been 99, 2000, that there was no URL. Like it was just geocities.com / and you had a 9-digit number. Or
Yeah,
like
whatever your GeoCities identifier.
and I think mine was like 111363 or something. Like it was my website.
I remember I met some girl on AOL chat, and she had a dope-ass GeoCities page, and I was super intimidated. Like,
dude, I still remember some of that HTML though.
Yeah.
Like some of those codes, but I remember the people too that had just like a dialed-in GeoCities page.
yeah, I met this girl. We were talking, and she's like, "Oh yeah, I have this GeoCities," and she sent me a link, and I'm just like, "Oh shit!" She's like, legit. Like, I'm
so
not
much glittery animation.
Yeah, like I thought it was so impressive. I was so amazed. I was like, I couldn't do this. Like, I was like embarrassed. But yeah, that's kind of my memories of GeoCities. I really only use it to like host files, because back then hosting images was like a thing. You know, like if you either paid for a service or because there was no Imager or anything. And I used to post on a lot of like VB boards and stuff for games, like because I don't want to say I was a competitive gamer when I was a youngster, but I played in a lot of like tournaments and stuff.
So you didn't use it at like you didn't make an HTML website with content on it.
No, I think I actually ran like a Python server, so it would bring up like it would just give you like the file directory if you landed on the GeoCities page. It'd basically just be like images or files, and you could just click through and download any of them. Because I wanted raw JPEGs so I could push them onto like VB boards and stuff, right? Like weird images or things I hosted.
Yeah.
Or like Photoshop.
You could just post a URL to the image.
Yeah, because that was kind of a hard thing to do back then. Like hosting URLs was not, there wasn't Imager or GiffyCat or, all these hosting services. Now you really needed a site like GeoCities to host your content, which is so funny. I mean, it's definitely a trip down memory lane of like the way the internet used to work.
Yeah, it was very strange because
Yeah,
that's not how I used it at all. I there was a HTML playground for me. Like it was just like, here's my website. I'm Bill. These are a bunch of Ace Ventura audio clips.
I can see that.
And I remember this just came to me. There were websites that would host. Or not host, but that would like have tutorials in kind of like HTML code. So you'd go to it and it was like, use this code and you'll make, like here's the color codes for the text and all that, like all the easy stuff. But then there was like, here's an animation code,
like embed an MP3 player.
Yeah, here's how you embed, a video clip, or here's how you embed an MP3 song or, audio clip. So I had like all these audio clips, and then I'd have like this little animated thing of like the little dancing baby and
Shikaka.
Yeah. So I had all these, it was just like a mess, and I'd send people to it on AIM, AIM chat, and like, check out my website. I just added this and whatever. And
cool.
I remember like the girl that I had a crush on, as an outlet for that, I had this like it was essentially like a pixel. It was a period at the very bottom of the page that was hyperlinked, and I had like 4 or 5 different layers of pages that you'd go through. And then at the end of it, I said like, I like, and had like some little
Dang.
You know, like
What an Easter egg.
yeah, it was a crazy Easter egg. I mean, it was like the HTML high school version of like writing someone's name on a bus stop.
Billy
bench
Buttons
or
is so
something.
romantic. So romantic.
So stupid.
Yeah, I really didn't do that. Like my HTML like outlet was MySpace for sure. Once like MySpaces were up and running, and that was like 2000.
That was a little bit later, yeah. So I did the same thing. I carried over the
and
HTML
that's when
knowledge.
like, yeah, it was like Sublime songs and like,
oh, how'd you get that background?
yeah, sweet backgrounds, like sweet Rastafarian backgrounds. If you're wondering what I was into when I was in 2001, you can take a guess. But dude, I met so many girls on MySpace though. Like it was a veritable
Treasure trove.
treasure trove of ladies on MySpace. It was nuts.
Rest in peace, MySpace.
Yeah, I mean, because like being 19 or 20 or whatever, and like having a car, and you know, I just randomly like message girls, but hey, you want to see a movie or you want to go hang out? They'd be like, yeah, you know, you just would.
Oh, those were the days.
Or I'm going to a what words do we use for like house parties? Like we didn't call them house
Kickback.
parties. Oh yeah, we're going to a kickback.
Oh, I just used that word
Yeah.
the other day.
Yeah, we're going to a kickback. You should come chill. You know.
Oh
and
my
then-
God.
Yeah, it was.
Kickback.
Those were the days, man. I feel like we're totally alienating the audience because they're like young and have no idea what we're talking about.
I don't know. I mean, it's important to know where all this crap came from.
Yeah.
And it's interesting looking back on it, and some of the stuff that we're both doing now is essentially the same. It's the same stuff.
Yeah. Well, here's a blast to the past for all you kiddos out there. My senior year in high school, I can get 99-cent a gallon gasoline, go to the beach, hit up some ladies to come to a kickback. And if I was lucky, we'd end up macking by the end of the night. All right.
Mackin'. Oh my God. Listen to some Sugar Ray.
Yeah, listen to some 311 and just macking.
Oh God. That's really funny. Jesus.
That's how it went down, though, bro.
Oh man, I wish I could find that GeoCities page. It's got to be lost, right? Like there's no
That's
those
what I'm wondering. Like,
that code is just lost forever. It's never coming back.
I don't know. Yeah, I mean, if it's
Because you'd need to know the exact URL to get there.
no, or you just needed to know how to, like, your login info, like what email you used.
I mean, I probably could figure out email. I haven't had
That's what I
that
mean.
many email addresses, but GeoCities shut down in 2009
Yeah, that's what I mean. If they,
for us.
but if it was in Japan, then maybe they kept the servers up.
Yeah, but what does shutdown mean in 2009? Like you'd have to find out exactly.
Yeah, you'd have to know if they like really took everything down.
Yeah, and it's not like you couldn't really find it on the Wayback Machine because that needs an actual URL.
That was back when if you wanted to have a picture on the internet, you'd have to scan it. Like, remember using
yeah.
scanners to get?
Yeah. That was a weird time. Like there was no cell phone pictures. Like you had to take a digital camera, upload digital camera pictures, post it on your GeoCities site, put a sweet little visitor counter. Did you have a visitor counter?
Oh, I had a visitor.
Did you ever mess with that?
Yeah.
Like, and not the MySpace one, but the actual HTML.
HTML one, yeah.
Yeah. And like you hacked it to add, make it look like 2 billion people visited your website.
I remember when I was like 21 going to like Mardi Gras in San Diego downtown. They'd have like a Fat Tuesday Mardi Gras celebration and taking pictures of girls, flashing people.
Nice.
But they only lived on my camera. Like I had nowhere to put them. So I was just like, look at them on my camera.
Oh my God, it's the saddest thing I've ever heard.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Because it's like, I couldn't put it on the family computer.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It's like I had a phone or like somewhere to upload them.
Yeah.
So they just were on my camera. And I just remember for years, like, having those on my camera.
Oh, that's really funny.
Right?
Yeah.
That's so dumb.
That's pretty good.
That's the era we lived in, though. That's how things were.
And it's funny how nostalgia is just like when we're like, it sucked. This is not good. Like now is better for sure, but
Definitely better.
But now looking back on it, you're just like, that was fun.
There's something sweet about it.
There's something sweet about it. Just whatever part of our brain, of our brain chemistry that makes us like look back on memories like that fondly. Like 90% of high school was just miserable hormonal cloud of disaster. And just we were kind of like, oh, those were the days. Like, oh, I remember middle school. And,
I just remember like getting in a fight with my girlfriend at lunch, and literally just bawling through English class.
Yeah, but you probably look back at that now and go like, oh yeah, but it was like kind of sweet and it was nice.
I sure feel like, what's wrong with you? And I'm just like, right, like in the middle of class.
I know, we're gonna hold hands and watch Dawson's Creek, man.
Yeah, in the middle of class. Like, if I went to a high school and like walked into a classroom, there's a student just bawling in the classroom, I would just be like,
you'd be like, what the fuck is going on?
Like, what the fuck is
like,
happening?
dude, nothing is as bad as that right now in your life.
You think this is?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Okay. All right, we got to cut it out. We're just sitting here reminiscing now. If you guys,
fun. It
is
this.
fun. If you guys want to hear us hang out and reminisce more, definitely shoot us an email and let us know how much you loved it. Also, we're thinking next week, because it's the 20th of December, the day before the beginning of winter. Well, it's the 20th of December when we would record normally. But doing a very special holiday tech, yeah. So make sure you set your watches. What's next Monday? Next Monday is the 14th, 15th,
17th.
No, that's
what. Oh, 24th, Christmas.
24th, Christmas Eve.
Yeah, Christmas Eve.
So set your swatches. Santa's coming, and he's bringing a hot load of tech, yeah,
right into your earballs.
Right into your earballs.
Ditch the family. Put on your earbuds. Get a nice cup of cocoa. Sit in the corner and listen to some tech, yeah.
Yeah, like when the family's all together and you're just like, I can't deal with this. Grab a cup of nog. Go sit on the patio. If you smoke, maybe light a cigarette. You know what I mean? Just do what you got to do to have your moment. Put on the buds, and we'll get you through it, buddy. We'll tech yeah. So be looking for that for Christmas Eve. It's going to be a good one. Me and Bill are working on some special stuff we're going to do for the show. And with that, Bill, you got anything your trademark sign off?
That's it. Just keep on loving everybody.
That's your trademark sign off?
Right? Isn't that what I say?
First, tell people where they can find you.
BILL4LE at Twitch and YouTube and all of everything. And that's everything. I mean, if you just put BIL4LE at and then like pretty much any domain.
I'm so jealous. I wish I had one like that.
It's pretty slick.
Yeah. TONEFACEKILLAH at Twitch and Twitter. That'll find me.
There's some heavy lifting in that one, but it flows nicely once you get it out.
Once you get it once, you know it for life.
Tone Face Killer.
Yeah. And with that, we love you guys and enjoy the rest of your week.
Goodbye. Love you.